many of you realize the importance of adding sea moss to your diet? We've heard numerous benefits from it. They just can't be overstated. It is so beneficial to people that want to add something healthy to their diet. Sea moss. Now, a lot of you guys are still having problems with it. There's a lot of confusion about the way it looks. There's some bad pieces in it. There's pebbles. Is it spoiled? What gives? And you guys, I am right there with you. When I first was introduced to sea moss, I was like, it even looks like it's alien from a different planet. It is pretty confusing, but it's so beneficial for health that, it just covers almost every single part of the body. It supports your thyroid health, the skin, fiber, gut health, protein, it's bones, collagen. It's so important. So let me show you the quickest, easiest, best, most efficient way to prepare sea moss, okay? So let's get started. First, I have 3 bags of sea moss here. I get a lot of people saying, my sea moss looks terrible. This is, when you're dealing with nature, nothing is identical, except maybe my Canadian geese. I cannot tell them apart, but it should be, a nice color with some brown pieces. If there's some gunk in there, it's just debris from the ocean. There's some netting that I find in there, from people fishing. Large fishing vessels, I'm sure it's from. But you just remove it. Simply remove it or rinse it out. It hasn't penetrated the seaweed. And this one is a little questionable, but still, if it's brown like that, it's good. So let me show you. So I take sea moss from the bag, not even rinsing it. I cover it with water. I leave it alone for 35 minutes. Then I'm going to drain it, and then I rinse and wash it. I told you this in the previous video, how important rinsing is, but I found a new step that actually really helps get rid of even more of that fishy flavor, the fishy smell. It's worth it. Here, I'm not going to have it on. I do like to use the spray, but I'm not going to use it because I don't want it to spray on the camera lens. But I take the sea moss and I rub it in between my hands. And then, so I did a little experiment. I rubbed one group of sea moss intensely through my hands, and then the other group I just rinsed really well, and with occasional rubbing like I always did. And then I smelled them side by side, and the one that I did this to really smelled so faint of ocean smell. It was amazing. And if it still smells fishy afterward, just go back and rinse it some more, but it's not if you do it this way. So while you're rinsing, take it in between your hands and rub a dub. Just rub. It makes sense that you remove a lot of that fish smell by merely just rubbing your hands together, or squeezing it, rubbing it in your hands together. I used to soak it overnight or soak it for 6 hours, but now I soak it for just 35 minutes. Sea moss expands, but you need a nice large amount in order to work it in the blender. And sea moss is unlike any other ingredient I've blended in the blender because it's so porous. It just goes together right away. So usually I say just put 2 cups of your ingredients in the blender to start with, but I usually do like 5 or 6 cups because it condenses so much. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too difficult to show you guys. The reason I'm not too worried about soaking a lot is because it freezes beautifully and it defrosts within a matter of like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm not sure if you can refreeze it, but if you freeze it in small portions, you can just take out the amount you need. Here we go. I'm going to start with just a little bit of water. I'd say 2 tablespoons. And rather than throw the blender on high immediately, I believe a good trick is low. Now it's easier for me to work with on low. See how it's blending? It's actually blending because I'm doing it slow. It's creating a gel, whereas if I turned it up on high, I'd lose all this. I'd lose all this control. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit more water and scrape down the sides because we're trying to create a nice gel. That's the easiest way to add Irish moss to any of your creations, is by doing it in a gel version, not by dropping it in unsoaked or soaked and unblended. You want to make a gel. Scrape the sides again. See, it's turning into a nice gel consistency. And a little bit more water. Sometimes my sea moss comes out really jelly-y. More on the jellier side. This one came out a little bit on the flaky side, but don't be discouraged. The end product is always the same. Put it on my face, put it in my smoothie, put it in my cheese recipe. Put it in my cheesecake recipe, or the last thing I would ever do is eat it raw because it is so gross. But if you put it in these lovely recipes, you don't even taste it, and you are getting such a powerhouse of nutrition, of a nutritional boost, and just aiding your body and carrying out its daily chores. Okay. There, it's all ready to go. Now I can either pop it in the refrigerator, top shelf where it's colder, and I have some Irish moss that has been in there now for about 3 weeks, and I just used it the other night. It's still good. I guess I did taste Irish moss that I smelled it that went bad once. You can really smell if it goes bad. Oh my gosh, I wish I could share this smell with you guys. All right, guys, so look at how easy was this. We take our sea moss. This is about a perfect amount of size, perfect amount right there. That's an overflowing cup. Cover it with water for 35 minutes. Throw it in the colander. Rinse it as we rub it together in between our hands for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we blend it and make it into a gel. It's so simple. And the next recipe, I'm gonna make some amazing cheese with this. And because there's so less water in it, it's going to be very thick and just lovely. It is the best vegan cheese I've ever had. Okay, and I hope you guys make it so you can vouch for me. All right, take care. Hope this cleared up some confusion. It is not that difficult when you know what you're doing, and I hope this cleared it up. Okay, guys, take care. See you in the next video. Bye.